and welcome to another exciting edition of Mamdi'S Lounge.
Mamdi'S Lounge Season 2 is here, and it keeps getting bigger and better. Our conversations are spicy with guests that give in-depth insights to every topic. It's Mamdi'S Lounge, your one-stop shop for great conversations.
We know that when there are crises, women are usually the first responders. They come to the community, they help out.
The bride price is not looked at as placing a value on the woman. It's looked as a commitment.
So I think it is something we should look at. It is endemic in our society. And for us to address it, it's going to take a national call.
Every Thursday, 8 p.m. on AYV TV, Channel 33.
Hello and welcome to Mamdi'S Lounge. Today, Mamdi'S Lounge is coming to you from the Hotel Bamoy. We're actually at the Penthouse Suite. Beautiful setup, beautiful guests, and of course my lounge member Hannah Fuller is here. And today we are going to be discussing a topic that I really feel very passionate about, and that is age and respect. Is age a parameter to respect people? That's what we'll be discussing here in this particular edition. But stay tuned, we'll be right back after this break.
With MP, your safety comes first. In case of an emergency gas fire, from our gas cans, 1. Use your finger to block the knob opening of your gas can. 2. Use a wet cloth and put it over the flame and the knob. Or 3. Wrap the tank with the wet towel and the flames will go out. Take a rubber bucket and cover the tank. At MP, your safety is our paramount concern.
Na the EcoBank microfinance, we don't find easy way for you picking them better one to marabambai. We don't find way for put money inside you small business them, no matter how small the business be. EcoBank microfinance, they're also glad for make your business grow. In not happening, we ready for give you all the financial support for make you team up Tranga one. So now for come with we on this new journey, we say all you dream then will come true. So now for just come, now the EcoBank microfinance office, also you go learn how for open up savings and current accounts for you picking them, get money for you small business them, and send money now 33 countries inside Africa, and also open up savings and current account. Visit we now any of them branches soon. Begin and end your day with gladdy. EcoBank microfinance with the help you small business them for team up Tranga one.
The Asma James Foundation improves the lives of girls from marginalized backgrounds by giving them access to reproductive health education, scholarships, mentoring, and life skills training. We also use the media to advocate for policies that positively impact women and girls across Sierra Leone. Asma James Foundation, providing adolescent reproductive health education and services to girls in Sierra Leone.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is Mamdi'S Lounge coming to you on AYV Television, and today we are coming to you from the Bamoy Hotel, actually in the Penthouse Suite. And this program also is supported by AfriCell, so we want to say kudos to AfriCell. Today, like I mentioned, we're talking about age. We ask the question, is respect earned or given because of age? Some people believe that respect is never governed merely by age. Usually, elders are respected because they have been in this world for a longer period, have more experience, which makes their persona more admirable than someone younger. But according to some people, age isn't a prerequisite, nor is it a magic key to gaining respect. So in the lounge to discuss this, I have Kipi Sise. Kipi has been in the lounge before. So welcome back yet again.
Thank you.
I also have Shaka Kurma. Shaka has also been in the lounge before. Welcome.
Thank you.
And of course, Hannah Fuller, my usual lounge member, is also here to help us discuss this all-important topic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, First of all, let me ask a few questions, that are related to the topic that we want to discuss. Now, guys, what is respect?
Good question. I think when you were doing the introduction, one of the things that I thought about is there's a two-dimensional answer to age and respect. There's, from those of us that are religious, there's the religious mandate to respect and honor your parents, and it stops at that. And moving on, you hear people say age is nothing but a number. Is that a matter of convenience when we want to be age negative, if you want, or is that to suit our own personal circumstances? On the one hand, in order to be respected, you have to command respect. You have to act respectably. You have to be able to inspire others and set a trend that others can follow. Because if you look at our young people today, or older people that act young today, do they deserve the respect that this age with respect analogy takes on? Do we respect someone just because they've passed the threshold of 20, 30, 40? I respect my children. And that's because they have an opinion, they have a place within society, and they have something there that maybe from my perspective, I lack. So it's respecting the office, it's respecting the person, it's respecting the environment that you're in. So it's not just a matter of I am older, so respect me. That's my 2 pence for now.
Chaka?
For me, I think respect is earned. That's my position. Automatically, in an African setting, your age comes with respect. But for me to dispense that respect to you, you have to earn it. If I am seated and a lady walks into my space, if there is no space, no seat, I automatically give up my seat, but that's how I was raised. But now, if that lady comes in and starts behaving the way that she's not supposed to be behaving, like, I'm not going to be getting off my seats just because you're a lady and you're behaving badly. So it has to be complemented. So, again, because you are graybeard, doesn't mean you already come with respect because you've already packaged that respect. But now you have to earn the respect because I'm not going to give you respect if you're a pedophile. So I think there has to be, as much as we give the respect, yes, I support the view that respect is earned. Unfortunately, in African settings, it is already packaged by who you are.
For me, listening to Kippy and Shaka, I am thinking that respect comes in different shades. We're talking about the religious aspect of things, wherein we're supposed to respect the elders. We're supposed to respect our parents, and when we say our parents, you go out, anybody out there who can be your parent, you should respect, and however, because of certain things that happen in society today, we kind of do not give respect to everyone according to those how would I say now, that kind of an outlook. So for me, I think there are certain things like what Shaka was saying, that you earn respect. You could be a gray-haired man or gray-haired woman, but you do not behave in a respectable manner, and so you will not be respected. So I think in as much as there's a natural assumption that older people should be respected, but and then there's also what Kippy was saying, that you should respect children, even children. There's that general thing. That's why I said it comes in there are different shades of respect. I don't know if that's the right word or description, but then yes, everybody should be respected, really. as human beings.
Can I just
But
ask?
I think
Sorry.
we're going to have to make a distinction here that with older people, it's assumed that they have wisdom, and they should have foresight. You know, they
Sheka's
should.
laughing.
They should. It's an assumption
That's
over time. But then, because of how sometimes some older people have conducted themselves, they have stripped themselves of their respect.
I agree with you because, as you were saying, it is that very assumption that is the bedrock of some of our abuses in society. So I'll reshape my argument in this form. Personally, I think respect, you already package your respect in African society based on who you are, still stick to that. But there is a tendency for it, and for me, I advocate for it to be withdrawn if you don't have it. You've got to work for it. So basically, just because you're gray hair and you're coming with a package of your respect doesn't mean that you have to abuse it. Pippi rightly said, she respects her children. But I can also tell you that life is just about respect, and also respect therefore means what you give is what you get. If you respect me, the chances are I'm going to respect you. And if you disrespect me, the chances are that I'm going to disrespect you. Based on the circumstances. Sometimes you can insult me and I choose to walk away. But then sometimes I can stand my ground. But when it comes to age, that is one thing that I really do not like when people tend to bank on it. Just because you're old doesn't mean you have to be respected.
Can I ask a question? If we're looking at respect, I think it goes back to your original question, what is respect? If I say, for example, respect Hannah, do I withhold the truth from Hannah if Hannah's behavior falls below the expectation? That's one. Number two, we talk about people holding office. It's not the person that has the respect, it is the respect of the office.
Right.
If we take, for example, people in high positions, it is the position that actually warrants the respect. So whenever you act below, I love it that you laugh at it. Whenever you act below the expectation for that office, should you then be stripped of that office because you have lost the respect which that office holds? Or should you then continue, thereby risking the office itself being disrespected by the masses?
My answer to you is straightforward. You should be stripped off if you do not live to the standard of the office. But unfortunately, for where we are, that's why I was laughing. I mean,
You should be stripped off, and you could also, as I think it could, to some extent, restore some amount of self-respect. When you, as an individual, realize that I have disrespected this office through my actions, and I can honorably step down.
But then the question is...
Yes, so again...
That kind of does some sort of, I don't know, restoration. At least you have some amount of decency.
Go back to the cultural aspect of it. Is it culturally acceptable in our societies for people to accept that respect is earned? I think that's the moral question.
I think I agree.
Okay, so I like the angle that Kipi came with initially, talking about she respects her children. So I am trying to wrap my head around, all of what has been said. So in this setting, we tend to respect people because of their age. You have mothers doing wrong things to their kids, but then they think, I'm your mother, I'm older than you, so I could do them to you. You don't respect the kids, you don't respect their privacy, you don't respect their space and all of that. So are we saying that's, okay, so because I might be wrong, but what I've gathered, in some of what the points Hannah and Shaka has made, is that age is equals to respect. The older you are, the more respect people should have for you. But there's certain things that older people do that really does not warrant respect? Is it because you're older that therefore you should be respected, even though you conduct yourself in a manner that does not deserve?
It's an assumption that with age you get respect because you're expected to behave in a respectable manner. But then that is not usually the case, or sometimes the case with some people, and hence the reason, why I think we went to the issue also of adult who probably holds a position too, and we're talking about the office giving you respect because the office has respect. But then if the holder of that office, behaves in a disrespectful manner, then, you could be stripped off, because you yourself, you've let the office down, you've let yourself down. So we assume, it's just an assumption that age, for me, I would assume that. I would not say I go with what society dictates.
Describes,
with age, you should be, respected.
So is it right to say then respect is fluid?
I think so.
That was the point that was...
Right, because,
it is.
for example, if you look at the age thing, let's stick on the age. I am 40-something, but my driver might be 60. And he respects me and addresses me as Di Mami and Yes Ma. And so instantly, the argument that age commands respect is dissolved because I am much younger than that person. I manage people who are much older than I am, but I'm in a position of more authority, and thereby we go back to the respect is not necessarily for me, but for the office I hold. So if we look at, say, respect is fluid, where you can earn, gain, and at the same time lose it, based on the circumstances, then we go back to saying, right, okay, maybe today I might be a person of high respect, but then one wrong move could then dissipate the whole.
So also, another thing that I want us to establish: you can be older and be respected. You can be younger and also be respected. So,
You see, for me, I don't know whether anybody can disagree with me on the sensitivity of this topic, because we can look at it from two angles. One has been generally discussed here, the respect coming from the age angle, and also with respect to older people. But then also, I've come to the realization that after the war in Sierra Leone, the norm, when back in the days, you're growing up in a community, like you're a community child. Your father is Mr. Koroma. Mr. Kamara sees you doing something wrong. He has the authority to discipline you. That has dissipated along the line to the point now that you see, for example, Mr. Kamara cannot even talk to Mr. Koroma's son anymore. And he can blow up. So it's something that really, like I said earlier, it's a cultural thing. On one hand, I agree that it is earned, but then I also believe that respect has to be taught from the home. Because first things first, if you respect yourself, you can give respect. And if you give respect, you must demand respect. That's my mantra. I give you respect, and I request respect in return. If you fail to give it, then I have the prerogative of not giving you anything.
I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that, because if I give you respect, I'm not expecting respect back. My behavior would then not demand it, but warrant you respecting me. For example, if, say, I give you respect because you're Mr. Shaka, and you behave in a way which warrants that respect, but in turn, my behavior doesn't warrant respect. Do you see where I'm going? So respect is given because of who I am and who you are. i.e., you've earned that respect. I might not necessarily have earned this. And I was sharing with a friend on the phone the other day saying there are a lot of adages that we have which actually speaks of this topic. For example, there's a Timni, I'm not going to say it the best way, but I'll try my best.
Go ahead.
There's a Timni proverb that says, Mopo baki, unko bicycle. En fait, when you don't big, you go buy bicycle. Then Pekin then go ride on for you. In the while the Pekin and they ride the bicycle, there's a level of disrespect that's going to come in because you've gone to their level. You see, so demanding respect while you're trying to be a kid and ride the bicycle with the kids, obviously it's not equitable at all. So,
all right, I like that, Kipi. Let me just hold you there right now and go for the short break. We'll come back and continue with the conversation. This is Mamdi'S Lounge coming to you on AYV Television.
With MP, your safety comes first. In case of an emergency gas fire from our gas cans, 1. Use your finger to block the knob opening of your gas can. 2. Use a wet cloth and put it over the flame and the knob. Or 3. Wrap the tank with the wet towel and the flames will go out. Take a rubber bucket and cover the tank. At MP, your safety is our paramount concern.
Na the EcoBank microfinance, we don't find easy way for you picking them better one to marabambai. We don't find way for put money inside you small business them, no matter how small the business be. EcoBank microfinance, they're also glad for make your business grow. In not happening, we ready for give you all the financial support for make you team up Tranga one. So now for come with we on this new journey, we say all you dream then will come true. So now for just come, now the EcoBank microfinance office, we say you go learn how for open up savings and current accounts for you picking them, get money for you small business them, and send money now 33 countries inside Africa and also open up savings and current accounts. Visit we now any of them branches so. Begin and end your day with gladdy. EcoBank microfinance with the help you small business them for team up Tranga one.
Quality electrical products now in Sierra Leone. Looking for cables? Ask for Havels. Havels cables don't catch fire. Looking for lights? Ask for Havels. Havels lights come with 1-year warranty. Havels products available in all stores nationwide. Or ask at Insons, 52 Shaka Stevens Street, Freetown. Or online at www.insons.net.
The Asma James Foundation improves the lives of girls from marginalized backgrounds by giving them access to reproductive health education, scholarships, mentoring, and life skills training. We also use the media to advocate for policies that positively impact women and girls across Sierra Leone. Asma James Foundation, providing adolescent reproductive health education and services to girls in Sierra Leone.
Welcome back. This is Mamdi'S Lounge coming to you on AYV Television. Today we're coming to you from the Hotel Bamoy in Freetown, indigenous Sierra Leonean hotel. And we're actually at the Penthouse Suite. Beautiful place, love the people in the lounge today. And today we'll talk about age and respect. Because you know some people in belief say we old, it's a must. People will respect you. But yet the way they go about doing the things that you do, not necessarily warrant you respect. Some people feel say, well, you're small, you big one not supposed to respect you. So we'll try for talk around this particular topic because keeping back to your point about respect being fluid, I totally agree. Now, we have situations where an older person, because he old, it gets age, it is said the dumbest things. But because of that, people sort of, if Peking go, they will go to try for the say the right thing. They will say, set you not loud, listen to the big one. Because, you understand? So there's a whole lot of...
It's the cultural norm.
No, it's a cultural norm, but that does not make it right. That's the thing.
I agree.
So people tend to ascribe respect to age, you know, whereas you have people who are older, but yet they are not living up to what is expected of them. So I would, because again, I'm sure you guys have heard about, you know, this adage that people say, what an older person sees sitting down, a child, you know, might not see even standing on top of a cotton tree. So that is to say they respect the old person, say no matter within, this you get more wisdom, because in some people's mind, age comes with wisdom, which is supposed to be the case, but not all the time. So, you know, so I want to quickly speak to this, because you have people when not they respect them picking them because they feel like saying I'm a picking. You understand? I'm a picking, and therefore what I want to do, that's what I'll do. So let us speak to some of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know they respect me picking because I'm a picking, and that also goes with no matter how old you get as a child.
Yes. Yes.
So we're not just talking about the 2-year-old, the 5-year-old. We're talking about the 45-year-old man or woman. We're still in parent and they're around, but in parent and still say, you know, I'm a picking, so your opinion don't matter.
My child.
All right. Let me go to my personal circumstances that I mentioned earlier. Every year, I do this thing here, so I can sit down with me picking there and just ask them for review me, evaluate me parenting. It's not the easiest thing. It's a painful yet open and brave move as a parent to help me become a better parent. So, whether I agree with what they tell me or not, I have to respect it and actually look at it and think, is there some truth in this? How can I address this? You know? So we do it once a year, and then we write all the things down, and then the following year we go back to the list and see what we've achieved and maybe what needs work and what might be a work in progress. That actually come about because I want to be better. I want to be humble enough to accept I don't know it all. The cotton tree adage. Maybe the child is down here and they're seeing something that's relevant, which I can't see being up there. So let's turn it the other way around. Sometimes having your nose in the cloud might just affect your judgment slightly. You see what I mean? So really respecting the office of a child is very important. I'll make another example. My son used to play drums at church. And as far as I'm concerned, when he's sitting behind the drums, he's not my son. He's a minister ministering on the drums. So I have to respect that office that he occupies. You go through the Bible, you find a lot of Samuel was a young child when he gave Eli the prophecy that God said. And Eli, because he didn't listen to this young child, actually ended up with downfall for himself and his whole household. So if we look at these elements of what a child can bring to the table, we will understand and value the opinions that children have and value the input that they bring in. Maybe we know it all, but I'm sure not one person is 360 degrees.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
But going back to using the Christian religion about kids, I think Jesus said it, that you have to be like a little child to enter the kingdom of God. Now, in this world that we live in, everything is about being old, being, and you have all the wisdom and all of that. And we think that is what is important. But for me, I stress on respect for everybody. Even the kids, every human being was born with their dignity as a human being and should be respected. But there are other things that, sometimes undermine that respect or strip some people of that respect and make them less desirable. I look at a situation where Shaka mentioned pedophiles. You have the rise or the increase in rapes in Sierra Leone today. You have older people tampering with babies. Those are acts that make, for me, I think one of my recommendations I would make would be that they should have a register of such offenders.
Talking about this, Hannah, most of the time, most of the time, talking about rape and kids, most of the time, these rapists, are people that these kids respect or respected. You understand? They looked up to them as my uncle or my, So these are the things that we're really trying to speak to sort of bring out.
And that's why they would not ever believe that Uncle. So for me, James did this.
So you see the irony there: respect and age. Somebody that you respect, yet goes about something doing the wrong.
Yeah. If I can draw a line from this conversation, let me just first of all address Kipi's parenting review. I think sitting here, I think I envy your kids. Because unfortunately we didn't grow up in that kind of environment. I mean, you grew up in an environment, a typical African environment, where you just like, by the time you are off from school, you say, "Dad, good afternoon." The face you see will just make you think you want to go back to school and continue school. But it's also part of the hard discipline.
But I'm sure you have learned something from Kipi that you will take on.
Not common,
that you will take on.
You will take on. It is not something that is common. It's something like, and it's one of the things that Mamdi'S conversation is trying to address. And I hope the wider audience listening to this or watching this one will draw a line from it and see the necessity for us to open that. One of the fundamental problems of African societies is a communication flow. In typical African homes, the communication flows from one end. The person that holds the power to the powerless. The parents to the kids, one way. And there is no way it's going to flow back. But until we have that feedback mechanism, we are not going to straighten things out.
But times are changing, so that's why, times have changed.
The points you are making about the abuse situation, and I agree with Anna 100% that we need to have a sex offenders register. Now, basically, and this draws from the home right on to the schools and even to the offices. When I was in secondary school in the 90s, I don't know whether the law was written, but there was a law. If you date, if you're a teacher and you date your students, whether she's your student or not, basically was a male and female situation, you will be expelled. And no school, especially in Bo, where I grew up, no school will allow you to teach there again. Along the way, that thing just dissipated, and now you now see people marrying their students, and they go to school, and in class, is Mr. Bangura at home.
Is honey.
He's honey. And so, it boils back to the same situation.
Undermining respect. Yeah. What can you say to the child in the class, Mr. Bangura?
The finger waving near the eye, and the crash the eye. So basically, what that means is those who are respected are the ones who have a tendency to abuse that respect. And most of these kids cannot come out to say, because number one, if uncle abuses you in the home and you say, somebody's going to say, keep quiet, it's not possible.
You're lying.
You're lying.
Yes, you lie.
Don't say it for the family respect.
One,
So it's a sensitive and fluid topic. But
Shaka,
honestly,
Shaka, you hit on something, the family respect. The family respect.
Oh yes.
But then you sacrifice my dignity. You choose to protect the family.
And that is why I still believe, I ride with KP, that there has to be the need for the open conversation. No one knows it all. And that's the point you begin to fail. When you assume that because you're a parent or you're a leader, you know it all. there has to be a feedback mechanism, which is lacking in our present day society.
I agree, and I also want to encourage, people who are watching, maybe you get this posture where you begin, anything you begin do, you get for run and play.
A child should be seen and not heard.
Yes.
You've heard that one, huh?
Yes. A child should be,
should be seen and not heard. You hear that?
Mm-hmm. I have before. Mm-hmm. So these are all things that they are wrong, in my opinion. I mean, not because you are the mother or the father of that child or the aunt, therefore you should lord over this child. The can get something with the mother. Or sometimes you have kids tell their parents, "Mommy, I want my space. Can I?"
Mm-hmm.
But in some cases you have parents who say, "What's it I mean?" They tell so, "You, mama." So we're trying to still establish, that respect or respect with age will cut across. Not because you're old and grey, and you therefore it's a must. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So
it's even gone to the point that some of us choose, or many people choose, or end up choosing the wrong academic careers because once from cradle, mama don't say this na doctor it be. Even if your head is not there for chemistry, 10 years they'll be killing you for that chemistry. You end up becoming a pharmacist.
Don't forget about the footballers. And
tell me about it.
You see, in fact, not just here. One of the things that we do, we export culture. In England or the US, initially the first generation Africans who went overseas were really not into sporting at all. You begin, where I catch you, they play football. Now you can barely find every Sunday.
That's where the money is.
That's where the money is. But did you ask the child if that's what they want to do? Same thing, but that's another conversation with Mamdi'S.
I know, right? All right, guys, let's go for another quick break and then we'll come back and continue this conversation. It's Mamdi'S Lounge coming to you on AYV TV, and today we are looking at respect. So we were trying to answer a question, actually, whether respect is earned or given because of age. We'll be right back.
With MP, your safety comes first. In case of an emergency gas fire from our gas cans, 1. Use your finger to block the knob opening of your gas can. 2. Use a wet cloth and put it over the flame and the knob. Or 3. Wrap the tank with the wet towel and the flames will go out. Take a rubber bucket and cover the tank. At MP, your safety is our paramount concern.
Na the EcoBank microfinance, we don't find easy way for you picking them better one to marabambai. We don't find way for put money inside you small business them, no matter how small the business be. EcoBank microfinance, they're also glad for make your business grow. In not Tapado, we ready for give you all the financial support for make you team up Tranga one. So now for come with we on this new journey, we say all you dream then will come true. So now for just come, now the EcoBank microfinance office, also you go learn how for open up savings and current accounts for you picking them, get money for you small business them, and send money now 33 countries inside Africa, and also open up savings and current accounts. Visit we now any of them branches soon. Begin and end your day with Glady EcoBank microfinance with the help you small business them for team up Tranga one.
Quality electrical products now in Sierra Leone. Looking for cables? Ask for Havels. Havels cables don't catch fire. Looking for lights? Ask for Havels. Havels lights come with 1-year warranty. Havels products available in all stores nationwide, or ask at Incense, 52 Shaka Stevens Street, Freetown, or online at www.insons.net.
The Asma James Foundation improves the lives of girls from marginalized backgrounds by giving them access to reproductive health education, scholarships, mentoring, and life skills training. We also use the media to advocate for policies that positively impact women and girls across Sierra Leone. Asma James Foundation, providing adolescent reproductive health education and services to girls in Sierra Leone.
Welcome back to Mamdi'S Lounge, and today we are talking about age and respect. So we're asking a question whether if age is a parameter to respect people. And we'll be having very interesting points of view from our guest, Kipisi is here with us, and of course Shaka too, and my usual lounge member Hannah is here, and we are discussing this all-important topic. Very interesting perspectives on this particular topic. And so we continue with the conversation. Now, there was something I was thinking about before we went on the break. People, I'm still trying to think through it. I'm not quite been able to, but let me attempt to say this. So some people are, they get white here, all grey, and no, I'm not saying older people, and they behave in the most abnormal way. I would say that abnormal because there are certain things you expect from somebody who's much, much older, but yet they go about saying, they talk to you in a certain way, disrespectful way, and you're not supposed to correct them. You're not supposed to tell them that, hey, mommy or daddy, the way you spoke is not right, because as far as they're concerned, they're older. You say, see, I'm old enough for me. So at what point do you, is it draw the line between respect older person, even though or be obedient, because there's a difference between the two, right? Being obedient and being respectful. There are certain times people are doing the wrong thing, but you're trying to obey the instructions because this person is older, so therefore, la do am out of respect. But what he or she's doing is really not correct. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Well, personally, to be honest with you, I would struggle to outrightly disrespect an older person, because
even though the older person,
even no matter what the circumstances are.
Okay.
So oftentimes I'll rebel by just either walking away or ignoring you completely. So, for example, I can give you a live scenario. I mean, this old man walks into a service area waiting for his turn. The norm is everybody queues up. Unfortunately, the service provider have not made provisions for pregnant women, disabled people, old people to be given priority. So the norm is you queue, and when it's your turn, you go get your service. So this old man walks in and was like, "Don't you have respect for pensioners?" And he started blasting everybody off to the point that he was really going out of the way. So I was like, "Okay, sir, do you mind come have my own space?" And I went to the back and I pulled him off. Now, normally, I will not say everybody has to do that. Again, like we rightly said, you earn that respect by the way. People have easily have said it softly and could have been hard. But because of the way we are brought up, for example, I'll give you a quick example. I've gone to a meeting with my superior, and a lady walks into the room and didn't have a seat. I gave up my seat, and because my superior had an issue with a lady, and the man was pinning me down to the seat. "Don't give up your seat." I was like, my soul cannot function if I don't. It's part of who I was raised to be. So honestly, I think that when the line is being crossed, especially when it comes to abuse of other people's privacy and their rights, I think the respect has to be withdrawn.
Okay. Since you're still talking about something that has to do with your official, I guess this scenario that you just painted has to do with something, the official line, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay. So let's speak quickly to, I was just thinking as you were, talking there about respect in the workplace. So maybe we need to have little bits of, so respect in the workplace. So there are sometimes you are the boss, and the way you speak to your staff.
Absolutely, Mamdi.
Sometimes, I don't know. So let's talk about respect in the workplace.
Mamdi, seriously, respect in the workplace, or respect to those that serve you. Okay? Serving somebody, I said recently to someone that the person I have most respect for is the cook, because she owns my stomach. And to a certain extent, it's true.
Yeah.
I agree.
She puts the food, and you wholeheartedly devour the food. No questions asked. But I always, maybe in a genderistic way, I always go back to male who are subordinate in the workplace. And the way you speak to that person determines how they respond at home. We always need to be able to do the links. For example, you have a driver, you're driving around town, all you can do is scream and shout and, yes, true, but put a hand out, put a so, you're not that sort of relationship, okay? He goes home, he hears that same tone, and really all he sees is not the wife who's probably slaved over the kitchen fire all day. He sees you, the boss. That's what it's in. Yes, and same thing with women in the workplace, women and men in the workplace, and there is a cultural, I wouldn't call it belief, but attitude that if you're a woman and there are men who are subordinate, you're supposed to create a buffered down zone for them so they can cope with having a woman boss. Why do they need to cope with having a woman boss? Being a boss is not about your gender, it's about your efficiency.
Yeah.
Yes? Or it should be about your efficiency. It's not about what determines your femininity or your masculinity. It's about delivery. And whoever delivers is the boss.
Right.
So workplace respect is vital. And I think Hannah was the one that mentioned this earlier, where she said everybody is innately born to be respected.
Yes.
You find that when you respect somebody at work, they thrive. When you respect their office, doesn't necessarily have to be the office with the biggest chair, but when you respect their office, they thrive. You might make decisions they don't like. However, again, we go to the parenting. You explain your decisions. Oh, why are we doing this? Some people don't even have the guts to say, why are we making this decision? Because I say so. Involve people. That's respect. They might not, I always say they might not ultimately make the final decision, but because they're part of the process of deciding, that is respect.
Yes. Yes.
That is respect.
Like you value their opinions.
Absolutely.
You don't necessarily need to take it on.
Absolutely.
But the fact that you're asking them that what do you think about this also
Ask
makes
the
a difference.
cook.
Yeah.
What do you think say for cook today? Yes, I know you're not the one paying for it, but I value your opinion. What do you think we should cook today? How do you think we should cook this?
I think you just.
But there's also, Kipi, there's also another side. Okay, so I have a friend who was telling me that she has this secretary who is much, much, much older. Each time she looks at this old woman, she feels like, okay, maybe she's old enough to be my mother, right? But this old lady is not living up to her expectations. I mean, like a secretary, she is so not the secretary type, you know what I mean? But she sits back each time this is something that she's struggling with, and she explained to me. And she said, I have to tell her every single day what to do. But yet she's there. But I also don't want to really shout or scold her, make her see that, because I see her as, and this is affecting her it's affecting the work, it's affecting what, her time and everything, because she does almost everything because she is so respectful. I mean, she's looking at this lady, okay, this one, she's so old, if I talk to her in a certain way,
But
so
Mamdi,
so these are things that also,
but what I'd say,
respects her, but at the same time, what she does is affecting her.
okay, separate the person, as in age, etc., from the position. Deal with the position, not the person.
So
Sit
this
down.
is
Sit
what
down.
you were doing with your kids,
Sit
too.
down with the person.
work.
Lay down your expectation. Does the person have a job description? If they have a job description, review the job description with them, so they know what's expected of them, and do deliverables.
So you're
But I
craving
do-
accountability there. So respect comes with accountability.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you have to be accountable for your actions, irrespective of your age. That's the bottom line.
But she is respecting this woman now because of her age.
And the woman has to be
Well,
accountable.
Mamdi, let's
So I'm
say
just
this.
saying, I mean, this is just,
Let's say this in response to the issue, the scenario. Your friend also has a problem. Because in her own head, I think she has been overpowered by the African
Narrative.
respect thing, that so much so that in a workplace, she's unable to make a distinction and differentiate between somebody's performance on the job
I agree.
and being respectful. It doesn't matter. I mean, appraising somebody doesn't strip them of their respect. As a matter of fact, it could help them to even improve and realize their full potential that they could give. But then just letting that person and going with the flow that, mommy, no one can talk something just not for a hot time.
No, that's the problem right there. I totally agree with you, but I'm just saying.
So anybody finds themselves in a situation like that, I think they need to step back and ask themselves the question, work is work, and respect still.
All right.
can
So
go
that's
hand in hand.
okay. So respect in the workplace, we've just touched on that a little bit. What about respect amongst peers?
I think I'll agree with some of what Sheka was saying earlier. Respect among peers. I respect you, and not necessarily you respect me. I behave in a way that commands respect as well. Among peers, you should be able to openly say to your peer, you know what, I'm telling you this because I love you. I'm telling you this because I want you to grow. I'm telling you this because actually, from somebody looking in, this is what you appear like right now. You don't have to take it on board. But I think when you tell somebody something, even if they discard 80% or 95%, a tiny seed is left behind, that seed of ambivalence, for them to think about, even mull over and think, is there a percentage of what this person said that might be correct? We have to hold each other accountable.
Absolutely.
We have to. You know, the times we're living in now is totally different from before. If before was good, let's take the elements that were good about before, like you were saying, the community child. Let's be a community of people who hold each other accountable.
Exactly. And we need to change the narrative.
We do need to change the
The
narrative.
narrative has to change. The narrative that remains with the same status quo is what is holding us back. Now, until we change that narrative, we are open to criticize, not because for the love of criticism, but for the truthfulness in the criticism, the objectivity of the criticism, and our willingness to accept that objectivity, our willingness to critique ourselves and our actions, hold ourselves accountable. We will not go anywhere.
So at what point, still on this, so at what point do we, I know before now, there's this notion about raising the whole village, back then you have aunties, uncle, the whole village raising up a child. So at what point, still on your point, and going back to what you just mentioned, Shaka, at what point do you as an individual, let's say I'm an aunt, at what point do I realize that I'm really going overboard? Like
Poking your nose in somebody else's business.
At what point? Because there's you know.
In the typical African settings,
yes.
like I said,
we need to establish
there are people who
because,
think that their position in the society, the environment, the family automatically grants them certain privileges as unquestionable. And that's where the narrative has to change also. I think that's wrong. Just because you're my uncle doesn't mean you have to dictate who should be my spouse. I don't think so. I think it's my responsibility.
So at which point you're saying, do I step back?
Yeah, do you
I think at the point where the parents comes in and says it's none of your business. The point where...
For me, I also believe that everybody has a right. In as much as everybody, I mean, one of the fundamental human rights that's not spoken is the right to make your own mistakes.
Or learn from somebody else's.
Everybody has a right to make their own mistakes.
Parents do not like giving you that
option.
I'm telling you, parents don't like that. Parents think you should learn from them. And they'll tell you,
okay,
no. And this is where, when it comes to making decisions such as choosing your partner, your career,
your school,
your
university, your subjects you're going to study.
Okay, so let
me believe that because they've seen it all, they know it all.
Let me give you an answer.
Yes. It's true.
Personal encounter. My dad has so much respect for me, for the man I've become today. I never knew why until an uncle told me once that at your age, your dad was a serious clubber. The old man never discusses this with me.
And you would have loved to know, right?
He would tell me all about the other things, just the positive lights, but he will never tell me about those days when he would like travel from one town to the other just to go clubbing.
To party. Okay.
But then I sleep at 9 p.m. because I have to wake up in the night to do something. And I don't have the time to go clubbing. So until and unless we know that whether you are a parent or whichever position you find yourself in society, one fundamental right that's not spoken about is the right to make mistakes.
All right, so guys, let's touch down. Let's wrap it up now. You know, so I'll start with you, Kipi. I'm still going back to the question. You know, I'm going to ask you quickly. And your answer is a yes or no, or no. So I still want to ask.
We're voting here.
So is age synonymous to respect based on all what we have spoken about? Kipi?
No. My one line is respect is fluid and it is earned.
Okay. All right, Hannah?
Same as Kipi.
And you, Shaka?
No, I believe respect has to come with accountability. And not necessarily age.
All right, so there you have it. Viewers, it's been Mamdi'S Lounge, and today in the lounge we've been discussing about age and respect. And of course, you've had very interesting perspectives, you know, from our guests, Kipi, Cisse of Heaven. Oh. I've just my time now. And of course, Shaka and Hannah. Guys, it has been a pleasure to have you. And thank you very much for being a part of this conversation with those valuable points.
Yeah.
And, you know, Kipi, I'll take your...
My method.
Your method, yes, I'll take that. My son is not here, so maybe, but we can do that on the phone because he always speaks, Mommy, you are just too... Anyway, so it's been a pleasure to have you with us, guys. And thank you for your time. Good night. Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Mamdi'S Lounge.
Mamdi'S Lounge Season 2 is here, and it keeps getting bigger and better. Our conversations are spicy with guests that give in-depth insights to every topic. It's Mamdi'S Lounge, your one-stop shop for great conversations.
We know that when there are crises, women are usually the first responders. They come to the community, they help out.
The bride price is not looked at as placing a value on the woman. It's looked as a commitment.
So I think it is something we should look at. It is endemic in our society. And for us to address it, it's going to take a national call.
Every Thursday, 8 p.m. on AYV TV, Channel 33.